is Sridevi, Assistant Professor, Department of ISC HJBIT.
Let us take a look at the 10th program in your DSA lab. So 10th program is to implement a menu driven program to implement your binary search tree and some of the operations on binary search tree. So binary search tree is a tree structure in which the left child will be smaller than the parent and the right child will be greater than the parent. So we are supposed to create a binary search tree for these set of integers. So the first element that gets inserted will be taken as the root node. So 6 will be inserted as the root. 9, so every time you do an insertion, you need to start the comparison with the root node. If the element is greater, you are going to insert to the right. If it is smaller, you are going to insert to the left. So 9, as you can see, 9 is greater than 6, so it will be inserted to the right. Next element is 5. 5 is smaller than 6, it will be inserted to the left of 6. 2 is smaller than 6, always the comparison starts from the root. 2 is smaller than 6, smaller than 5, so it will be inserted towards the left of 5. 8 is greater than 6, 8 is less than 9, so you are going to insert like this. So this is how you are going to construct your binary search tree. After constructing your binary search tree, you are supposed to visit the nodes in order, reorder and post order. So that is how the different traversals of your binary search tree. So in order, if I take just 3 nodes, so in order will be left node, then the root node, then the right. So left is 5, the node itself is 6 and the right is 9. So this will be the order if you visit in order. So if it is pre-order, the node or the root or the parent will be visited first, then the left, then the right. So 6 will be visited first, then 5, then 9. Post order is left first, right, then the parent. So left is 5, right is 9 and node the parent is 6. So these are the different orders in which you can visit a tree. So we will be looking at the different traversals for your binary search tree. Later we will be searching for an element in the binary search tree. If it is found, we are going to give an appropriate message. If it is not found, we will be displaying a message saying the element is not found. Same way we are going to be deleting an element from a binary search tree. So let us take a look at your program first. Now coming to your main function, so we have some variables that are declared. So these are the different options which are available. So we are using while of 1, which is nothing but your infinite loop. So as long as you do not select exit, we are going to be able to repeat we are going to be staying in execution. So there are different options: create, search, delete, in order, pre-order, post order. So depending on the choice, so first we need to actually create your binary search tree. So it will go to case 1. So choice, if I choose as 1, it will be going to case 1. So it is giving you the set of elements that needs to be inserted. You can insert any items you like. So these are the elements to be inserted as per your question. Now since you have 12 elements, so we are going to repeat the loop for 12 times. So each time you are going to scanf, read the elements from the user and call the insert function. So let us go to the insert function. Now in order to actually implement your binary search tree, so you need to first define a structure for the node. As you know, each node will have a data field. So that is your data field, and there is going to be a link to the left child and a link to the right child. So this is defined by using this particular structure, wherein so you have one data field wherein you are storing an integer number, one link to another node, so that is your left child, another link to the right child. So this is given in this format. Since it is a link or a pointer, so that is why you are using a star to indicate that, or a asterisk to indicate that it is a pointer type. So it is pointing to a node, so which is again of the same structure. So the type is struct BST itself. So this is the structure for each node. So whenever you want to create or insert an element, you first need to create a node and then do the insertion and attach to the particular parent by looking if it is smaller or if it is greater. So we don't want to, whenever we want to create a node, we don't want to keep saying struct bst every time. So we are just using type def to define our different name for the same structure. So instead of just repeatedly saying struct bst, we will be using the name node so as your structure. Initially, since we do not have any elements in your tree, so the root is going to be initialized as null. So root is nothing but the topmost node in the highest level. So initially root is pointing to null. So let us call our insert function. So look at our insert function. The item is passed as a parameter. So let us say the item is 6. So we need to actually create a node. So dynamically we are creating it by using your malloc function. Malloc function will allocate memory as much as required. So the required amount is given by size of node. So node is just depicting this particular structure. So how much ever space is required, that much size or that many bytes of memory will be allocated, and that particular node is going to be called as temp. So temp contains the address of the new node that got created. So let us say this is the node that got created. So temp is pointing to this particular node. So there are 3 fields, one field for the data, one for the left child, one for the right child. Now let us start by inserting the data into the data field. So the item whatever is passed is inserted into the data field of the temp. So temp's data field is this one, let us say. So I am going to insert the element into the data field. If root equal to null, so this condition is true because the root is actually initialized as null. So since the root value is null, the node that got created now becomes the root node. So this is how you are going to create the root node. You don't need to check anything else because there are no child nodes. This is the first element that got inserted. So you are going to stop by calling return. Let us try and insert another element. Let us say the element to be inserted is 9. So you can choose any element. Now you can, whenever you want to insert, you need to create a new node. So I am going to use malloc to create the node one more time. After creating, so the node that got created is going to be the temp node. Next I am inserting the data item, I am inserting the item into the data field. So whatever item is there, that will be stored in the data field. Next you are just initializing the left link and right link to null. So just to make sure that there is nothing wrong, it does not point to some random address. So we are initializing it to null. Now check if root value is null. So root is not null because it is actually pointing to some other node here. So the condition will fail, that is root already exists. Now you need to actually link the node to the tree. Now let us call, we are going to use another name. So we are going to use another pointer which is pointing to the root node. So current is pointing to root. While current not equal to null, the condition is still true. I am using one more pointer, previous, and pointing to current. So previous is pointing to current. If the item, so item here is 9. So if 9 is less than current's data, so current's data field is 6. So 9 is less than 6 condition fails, it will go to the else if condition, wherein it is checking if it is greater. If the item is greater than the current data, item is 9, it is greater than current data, condition is true, I am moving current to current's right. So current pointer is actually moved to the current's right. So current's right in this case is going to be null because it is going to be initialized as null when it is created. So the condition, the value of current becomes null. So else part does not get executed. So you are going to repeat with your while loop. In your while loop, now you will check if current not equal to null. But current has been initialized to null, null not equal to null condition fails. So you will come out of your while loop. So out of your while loop, you are checking if the item is less than previous data. So if you remember, the item is 9 Now previous, as you can see here, previous is pointing to this particular node. So previous's data is nothing but 6. The value for data field in previous is 6. So 9 less than 6 condition fails. It will go to your else part. You are checking if 9 is greater than 6. So else part would be any other case. So that would be 9 greater than 6. So you are going to insert temp to right of previous. So node's right field is going to be pointing to temp. So that can be actually updated by showing in this format. So wherein the node's right, so which was actually pointing to null, now it is going to point to temp. So this is how you are going to insert an element into your binary search tree, and every insertion you are going to check if it is smaller than the root, then it is going to be traversed towards left, or else you are going to traverse towards right. Let us repeat this process for the item 8. So 8, let us see what happens if I insert another element 8. Since 8 is greater than 6, it has to move towards right of the root node. Since 8 is smaller than 9, so it should be inserted to the left of 9. So to do this, so we are going to pass the item as 8 and try to trace the function again. So the item now is 8. We are going to create a node by using malloc. The data field is going to be filled with 8. Left link and right link are initialized to null. If root equal to null condition fails because root is pointing to another node, we are going to come out of if condition. So you are going to use another pointer current and point it to the root node. Current not equal to null condition is true because current is not null. Now we are using another pointer previous and pointing it to current. So let us say, so this would be previous and it is also pointing to the current node. If item is less than current's data, you are going to check if the item is less than current's data. So you can see what is the current value, current pointing to this particular node here. So current is pointing to this node. So current's data is nothing but 6. The item you want to insert is 8. Is 8 less than 6 condition fails, it will go to else if condition. Is 8 greater than 6, condition is true. I am moving current to current's right. So current was actually pointing to this node. Now current is going to be pointing to the right node. So the node at the right of the previous node. Next you are going to continue with your while loop. So while current not equal to null, current is not null even in this case. So I am going to the condition is going to be true. I am initializing previous to current. So previous will be pointing to current now. Now check if the item is less than current's data. So as you can see, the current node is changed. So current's data will also change. So the item is actually 8. Item is 8 and I am checking if it is less than current's data. What is current's data field? 9. So 8 less than 9 condition is true. So I am going to move current to current's left. So current points to current's left. Current's left here you can see it is null. So current value now becomes null. So current will be pointing to, repeat the process. Current not equal to null condition fails. You will come to the next part of the code where you are checking if the item is less than previous's data. So the item is 8. Is it less than previous's data? Previous is pointing to this particular node. The data is nothing but 9. So 8 is less than 9 condition is true. So what we are doing is we are just updating the left pointer of previous and pointing it to temp. So this was the temp node which got created. So here the left link is going to be now updated and you are going to point it to temp. So this is how insertion happens in binary search tree. Let us take a look at the second option, that is your search option. So when you call the search option, so we are going to enter the element that you want to search and we are passing the root and also the item in order to do the search operation. So let us go to the search operation or search function. The item becomes the key, and let us assume this is the tree we have. This would be the root node. Now if node equal to null, so node is pointing to the root. So as you know, when we call the search function, we pass the root node. So node is going to be pointing to the root node. Equal to null condition fails, so because the node exists. It will go to your else if condition, wherein you are going to check if the key is less than node's data. Let us assume I am searching for the element 7. So the key value would be 7. So is 7 less than node's data? What is node's data? 6. So 7 less than 6 condition fails. You will go to else if condition. So in else if, you are checking if 7 is greater than the node's data. 7 is greater than node's data. The condition is true. You are going to search towards the right. So node's right, comma, key. The key now is 7. Node's right. So the node's right will be passed as the node. So like, since it is recursive function, you are going to use a stack to keep track of the elements, where to keep track of the recursive process. So we are going to call the search function one more time by taking node's right as the node. So node's right will become this particular node. So this would be the node's right. So this would be the node. Now search towards the right side. So when you are going to search, again the same function is going to be called. Now the process is repeated. You are checking if the node is null. Is the node null? The condition fails. So you are going to check if the key is less than node's data. So key value is still 7. Is it less than the particular node's data? Yes, the condition is true. So it is going to now search towards the left. So as you know, insertion happens in the same order, and the same way you are going to do the search. So smaller elements will be towards the left and larger elements will be towards the right. Now we are going to call the search function again by passing the node's left. So this is the node's left, that is passed as the node. So this particular node will become the next search item. So you are going to pass this as a parameter one more time. So you are going to check again if the node is null. So the node is null condition fails. Is the key less than node's data? The key is 7. Is it less than node's data? So node's data is 8. So 7 is less than 8 condition is true. Check this. So is 7 greater than, sorry, is 7 less than 8 condition is true. We are going to call the search function again by passing the value which is to the node's left. So as you can see, there is nothing to the left of this particular node. So since there is no node to the left of this particular node, so the node's left value would be null. So node's left would be null. The same function will be called again by passing the value of node would be null. So in this case, the value of node would be null. When you check if when you are checking this condition, the condition would be true and it would display a message saying element not found. So this is how the search function works for your binary search tree. Let us take a look at the delete function. So when you want to delete, you are going to first enter the element that you want to delete. So that is case 3. So the item to be deleted is passed as a parameter for your delete function. So let us go to the delete function. So this is your delete function. So before we go into the tracing of the function, let us understand the logic that it follows. So let us say this is your binary tree. If I delete any of the child nodes which do not have leaf nodes which do not have any child nodes like 1, 5, 8 or 10, there is no other changes that needs to be done. So you can directly delete it without having to do anything, any other changes, except making the parents child nodes as null. So if I delete 5, the child node for the 3 right child link should be made as null. If I delete 8, the left child link for the node 9 should be made null. So this is pretty straightforward. Now let us assume if it has only one child node, and if you delete some particular node like that, like the node 2. If I delete the node 2, so you are going to take 1 and attach it as a child node for 3. So that would mean that 1 would be the left child for 3. So that is the second scenario possible when it has only one child node. The third scenario would be if it has both the child nodes. So if I delete the node 6, the node that contains the element 6, or the node that contains the element 5. So if I take, let us say if I delete the node 3, one of the child nodes is going to be made as a successor to 6. So let us say 5 would be made as the child for this in place of 3. So since 3 is going to be deleted, the left child which is left out, that is going to take the place as a left child for the node 5. So the resulting tree would look something like this on the left side. So right, it is not going to be changed. So this is a scenario when I delete the node 3. Assume that I delete the root node itself. Then if I delete the root node 6, in place of 6, 9 is going to be made as a successor. So 9 itself has 2 child nodes of its own that will not be disturbed. So since 6 is deleted, so whatever is the left subtree, that needs to be attached to the left of 8. So whatever is to the left, that is going to be attached as it is to the left of 8. So this is how we are going to do deletion in case of your binary search tree. So let us look at the tracing of the particular program to understand how it is done. Now we will take one scenario for the node 6. So let us try and delete the node 6, or I will delete the node 6. So the item to be deleted is 6. We are going to say parent equal to null. So parent initially has been initialized to null. I am checking if root is null. So root is nothing but this particular node. Root equal to null condition fails. Root would be null if the tree is empty, so there is no way to delete anything. So that time it will just display a message saying the tree is empty. Otherwise, so in this scenario, since the root is not null, this condition fails. You are going to go to next line wherein you are initializing current and pointing it to null. While current not equal to null condition is true because it is not null, I am trying to find the item. So the item is 6. The current's data, so the current's data is also 6. The condition is true. We have found the element that needs to be deleted. We are going to break. If you don't find, you are going to let us say if you are looking for any other item, so depending on the value, you are going to either move towards right or move towards left, depending on if it is smaller or if it is greater. As you can see here, if the item is smaller, you are going to move towards left. If the item is greater, you are going to move towards right. So you are using a ternary operator to do the same. So this is just to this code is just to find the node which contains the data or the element that needs to be deleted. Coming to the next part, so we have already found the element to be deleted. Now we are checking if current equal to null. So we are checking if current equal to null. So as you can see, current is not null. So the condition, the current is not null, the condition fails. This happens when you traverse throughout the tree and do not find the element. So when you keep moving towards left and towards right, at some point of time, let us say I am looking for the element 11, you would have moved right, then right again, then right again. At that point, current would have become null. So current is used to traverse to the node that needs to be deleted. At some point when you are looking for the node 11, it would not have been found. So at that position, it is simply saying item not found. But in our case, we are actually deleting the element 6 so that the that particular case does not occur in our scenario. So let us continue. You are checking if currents left equal to null. If currents left equal to null, condition fails because the current has a node to the left, so this condition fails. You are checking if currents right is equal to null, even that is not the case. This is used to check if it has child nodes or not. So we saw some of the scenarios where it does not have child nodes, it has only a single child node, so both are checked in this case. If you come to the else part, it indicates that it has both the child nodes. So as is our case, it has both the child nodes, so it will go to your else part. So let us take a look at the else part. So we are just saying SUC, that is the successor, is the currents right. So coming to the else part, we are just giving a name to the currents right child. So current right child is going to be called as a successor, SUC. We have to attach the node 3 to the node 8, to the left of node 8. So we are going to first find a way to reach the node 8. So we need to assign a name. While successors left not equal to null, so successors left is not null because there is a node to the left of the successor. So I am just moving successor to successors left. So successor now points to the left child, which is nothing but the node 8. Again repeat, while successors left not equal to null. In this case, successors left is null, so the condition fails. Now I am going to attach the node 3 to node 8. That is done by saying successors left is going to point to currents left. So currents left is this node. So successors left, which was previously null, is now going to point to the node 3. So it would be something like similar to moving or attaching the node 3 to the node 8. So this part would be actually attached here. Next we are going to say that Q equals currents right. So what is currents right? So currents right is nothing but this particular node. So I am going to call this node as Q. Now if the parent equal to null, so we, as you remember, we had initialized the parent to null. So in this case the parent would be null because the root node 6 is actually the root node, so it will not have a parent node. So the parent would be null. So in this case the condition is true. If parent equal to null, condition would be true. So Q would become the root node. So Q has been made as the root node, and then we can actually free the current node. So you are checking if current equals parents left. So is current actually parents left? No, because parent itself is null, so you have simply stopped there and you are going to free current. So since the parent is null, you don't have to change anything else. The Q node would become the root node, and you are going to stop there by calling return. So this is how you delete a node. So you can add another piece of code here. So you can say free of current, because we are not actually freeing the element there. So you can add this code to delete the particular node, that is nothing but your current node. So this is how you can delete a node. So you can check for the other scenarios where it has a single child node, or if it has no child nodes, how the program works can be traced on your own. I hope the program is clear. Thanking you. Have a nice day. Let us take a look at your in-order traversal function. So the function is called by passing the root node as a parameter. So root would be the first time it is called, so node would be the node 6. So let us make an entry in our stack, because that is how it happens in your recursive function. So if node not equal to null, condition will be true. You are calling in order again with the nodes left. So when you say nodes left, so you are going to call the left value. So left value is nothing but 4. so 4 would be called. That is, in order function with node left is going to be called. So when you come back here, so node would be now the node 4. So I am just depicting it as the node itself. So the node would be 4. So we only did left part, so we are not done with the other 2 lines of the code in your in order function. So just for reference, we are going to write as LT for left. So you called the left node, so this is your left node right now. So coming to the node, if node not equal to null condition is true, again you are going to call in order function by calling nodes left. So what is nodes left in this case? Null. So null is going to be called, and this was your left part. Only left part is done for your fourth node. Now when you come to the left, so it would be null. So the same function is getting called, but now in this case the node is pointing to null. Now check if node not equal to null. So null not equal to null condition fails. As you can see, the node value is null. So null not equal to null condition fails. So you are going to go back to the previous one, and you are going to continue with the iteration where you had stopped. So since null is not present, it is going to be deleted from the stack, and you are going to go back to the previous one. So previous one was when 4 was the node. So when you come back to that particular position, so we are going to continue where we had stopped. For 4, we actually finished calling the left side. What is left is the printf. It will print the nodes data. So nodes data is 4. So 4 will be displayed onto the screen. So 4 will be displayed onto the screen. Next thing is in order of nodes right. So you are done with the print statement. Now you are going to call the right. So what is to the right? To the right of this particular node you have null. So null will be passed as a parameter for your in order function. So null will be called. So in this case again the node becomes null. When you check if node not equal to null condition, so it fails. So since it fails, you are coming out of your null. So coming out means it will be removed from the stack. So when you come back, the node would be the node 4 again. So you are going to this particular location again. As you can see, there were only 3 lines of code. So left, then the printf statement, then the right. All 3 are done for this particular node 4. Since it is done, you are going to pop that particular entry from the stack, and you are going to continue with the previous one. So what do you have in the previous one? So you have 6 as the previous node. So since you have 6 as previous node, so this will become the node now. So this was the node till now. So now you have popped it from the stack. So node would be coming back to location 6. So when you are coming here, for this particular node we were already done with the left one. So the next part would be printf statement. So the printf statement is printing the data field of that particular node. The data field says 6. 6 will be printed onto the screen. Again you are going to call the in order function by calling the nodes right. So print is done. It is now calling the function in order by passing the right child as a parameter. So what is to the right of this particular node? The node 8. So I am going to make an entry for that particular node as a parameter. So 8 will be the node right now. So 8 would be the node. Continue. So node not equal to null condition is true. You are going to call in order function by calling left. So now you are calling the left. So left part is going to be done right now. So what is to the left? 7. 7 is going to be called, in order function is called again by passing the left node. So what do you have on the left? That is your node 7. So this becomes the node right now. Now the same thing repeats. So the node is now the node 7 is 7. So node is not null condition is true. Now it is going to call in order with nodes left. So this node's left child. So left I am going to make a call. So to the left you don't have anything which is nothing but null. In order function gets called again, but now the value would be null. So this node is actually going to point to null. Null not equal to null condition fails. So since it fails, there is nothing more to do. The condition fails, you come out of this particular loop and you are going to remove this from the stack. When you come back, so what was the previous node you had? 7. So the node would be the node 7. So left was done. Now we will be doing the print statement. So you are going to print the nodes data. Nodes data is 7. 7 will be printed onto the screen. You are going to call inorder function by passing the right node as a parameter. What is to the right of 7? Null. So null is going to be called. So right is also going to be being done for this particular node. So null is entered into your stack. The same way, so the node is now null. Null not equal to null condition fails, so nothing to do, so that gets popped from the stack. So you are going to come back to the previous state wherein you are done with all the nodes. So this would be the node right now. So in this case, you are all done with the left, you are done with the print statement, you are done with the right also. So that will be removed from your stack and you are going to go back one level up. So for the again it is going to go back. So in your in this case the node is now 8. So this would be the node. Left is done for this particular node. So the next statement for this particular node would be, so for this particular node the left part is done. Next statement is going to be print statement. So print statement will print the data field. So the data field is 8. 8 will be printed onto the screen. And then you are going to call inorder with the nodes right. So as you can see, nodes right is null. So null entry is made into the stack. So when the node becomes null, there is nothing to do because this condition fails. You are going to pop it. So we had called right. So as you remember, so we forgot to make an entry. So right is also done. When you come back, now we will check for the node 8. For the node 8, all the three things that was supposed to be done is done. So you are going to go back one more level. So that is nothing but your node. Node 6. So node 6 also you are done with all the three statements. So it is going to stop here. So the output of your inorder traversal would be something like this. So 4, 6, 7 and 8. The same way you are going to continue the process for your pre-order. So in case of your pre-order, the order of your data or data traversal or a tree traversal would be different. So it is going to be node first, then the left, then the right. So you are going to do the printf statement first, then try to visit the left subtree, then you are going to visit the right subtree. Post order would be left first, then right, then the node. So left subtree is going to be traversed in post order, right subtree is going to be traversed next, and then you are going to print the data which is there at the root node. So this would be the same, the traversal or the tracing of the program or the function would be similar to that of inorder, but the order of the statements would be different. Hope this is clear.